Hi guys, this is Bess Boomer back with you for a walk and talk. Beautiful day in the neighborhood in the upper 60s. We'll get to 72 today. See Rick up there running. We take totally different routes. He runs faster than I do. So this is totally non-scripted. And I wasn't even going to do one today. I was just going to kind of take a break between Thanksgiving and Christmas. But just scrolling through Facebook as I do, there are posts that just strike me. And so I made it through the first one and I didn't comment. And it was about an article in the Washington Post that stated that a nurse who, kind of poo-pooed the COVID risks, would arrange play dates for her children when she was off work and she didn't wear a mask, and blah, blah, blah. And this nurse ended up with a lobotomy. Okay. First off, the story was from Portland, Oregon, which, as you all know, is about the craziest liberal place on the planet. Then it was in the Washington Post, which that's another whole story, but really, you really can't trust so many sources. Okay, but I let it go. And I scrolled on through, and then I came to a graph. And this graph showed different media and which ones were biased to the left, which ones were biased to the right, and which ones were supposedly neutral at the top. Now, mind you, this was done by a patent attorney. Now, what gives that patent attorney the knowledge to do this? What is it based on? But just looking at it, it's like, oh gosh, okay. First off, it's outdated. It's a couple years old, and it's outdated so easily to see that because down here on the one slanted to the right is Fox. And as we all know, there's been a change in leadership at Fox, and they've suddenly turned to the left and lost or fired several of their commentators who have gone to Newsmax. Okay, so, and then up at the top is some of those media sources that are supposedly neutral. There's ABC, NBC. Really? If you believe that, you do need to switch up your channels. Washington Post, I think, is up there. Time magazine that had Obama on its cover 100 times. Really? I'm not even going to stick my neck out there for even one media source that's totally non-biased. I really truly believe they all are. And some will say, well, you just watch and, those channels that give you what you want to hear. There's the jets from Luke Air Force Base. I'm sure you can hear the sounds of freedom, as my husband says. Don't mind that noise at all. So anyway, kind of lost my train of thought there. But I think, news, you really can't trust one source. You really do need to switch it up. And here's an interesting little side note. I've talked about censorship, and we can see it. If you can't see it on Facebook with their little blurbs about Biden's won, this isn't proven, blah, blah, blah. Do we really need to be directed like that? Or let us search out the facts. And here's an interesting, like I say, little tidbit. So one of the news channels, and I think it's One America News, was airing the hearings in Arizona on the voting. And, lo and behold, the mainstream media isn't even carrying this. Now, this, whether you believe there's been fraud or not, is huge, huge. So you can sit there and say, Juliana doesn't know what he's talking about. But, there's witnesses there and experts there talking on, the Dominion machines and how they were designed to be easily changed, designed to be able to easily change the vote. Okay, that's what they were designed for. So who in the world would buy those to use? But, several states did. And interestingly enough, some of the anomalies are showing up in those states. The big point that I got out of this airing was, number one, there's a hearing going on right now as we speak. And it isn't made up. This is a live hearing going on that you can view. Believe it, or not, which side is right, that's up to you. And that's good that you have that opportunity to listen to facts and, make a decision. But where we are at in America today is that we are spoon-fed a narrative by news media outlets that, it fits their plan. And I'm not a conspiracy, I don't believe in big conspiracies or not, but I do believe in what I see before my very eyes, and that is censorship right and left. Okay, I can see it, and you ought to be able to see it, even though you might like the direction that censorship is going. It is always, always wrong. The public needs to be presented with facts, provable facts, and see both sides of whatever story there is out there, not to fit anybody's agenda or narrative. But we are not seeing that. And I feel so bad for America, and it galls me. And it galls me that there are so many gullible people who are believing everything they hear, or are stuck to one or two channels on the news. And so that's their fact. And yeah, it's going to go right along with what you believe because you've heard it 50 million times and you're going to believe it. You need to switch it up. If you're on CNN, switch it up. If you're on Fox News, switch it up. If you're on Newsmax, switch it up. Get as many of the facts as you can. If you hate Trump or not, he's been done wrong for 4 years by the media. He's being done wrong right now by the voter fraud. And love him or hate him, fact is fact, truth is truth, right is right, and wrong is wrong. And so, I hope I elicit some comments here. It doesn't bother me. What should bother everybody is what's happening right now in our country. I have never seen anything like this. And it's really a fight for our freedom and our rights. The whole COVID thing, is it real? Yes. Do people get sick? Some much more than others, depending on their comorbidities. I have a stepdaughter, who has it right now. It's like bad flu. She did go to the ER for breathing issues and was sent home. So it does affect people, but people have an individual responsibility to take care of themselves. And the mask wearing, I think there are such varying ideas about that. And I'll wear it when it's required. But here's a little silly thing that I just saw is a guy riding by on a bicycle with a mask on. He's all by himself, and he has a mask on, riding a bicycle. Now, there's a man who doesn't really understand what the mask is all about. And whether it's helpful, it's going to keep some things from spewing out of your mouth, but you could also keep your, socially distance and, stay far enough away so something wouldn't, get on somebody else. But again, with the statistics the way they are, that's another whole story. Try to get solid information and solid research on that. There was a study done by UCLA and Stanford that's been kind of tamped down because it said it was not as serious as it was made out to be. And the news media, they're debunking that. They're, right and left. That doesn't fit their narrative, even though it's based on science. And I've tried to dig up the actual story, not just the commentary on that research, but the actual research paper. And I can't get to it other than to say they're saying that it's not as serious, individually speaking, as what it's made out to be. So anyway, for what it's worth, there's my walk and talk. Whenever I, get kind of, I don't know, you could call it triggered, I guess. I can get passionate about certain things, and the situation today in the country is something that just it keeps you thinking. Okay, you take care out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.